Hello and welcome to my channel. You missed that delightful little thing. She said it was the longest 2 minutes of her life, and then just as we went live, she said, actually brushing my teeth is the longest 2 minutes of my life.
It is like when you have those electric toothbrushes that time you and you're like, oh my god, when is it gonna end?
Yeah, sometimes I cut it off early.
Oh, shame.
Yeah, so yeah, we've got the Puddles is in her bed today. She's actually like on the camera.
She's like, I'm not paying attention to you guys.
Yeah, no, that's because she's there because I put a treat there for her, and it's one that takes a little while to eat, so it'll be a little while before she flops out of it. So yeah. So hello everyone. I know Oskatat V or Oskatat 5 is saying, I know I said I was going to watch the series, but honestly it scares me.
Why? Am I scary?
You're a scary person.
So
is it that you're scary, or is that I keep giving
there's my water.
too much information? Are you serious? She was like freaking out 5 minutes ago, being like, I don't know where my water is. Where to go? Where to go? It's sitting right there on the floor. In front of a fairly expensive computer, I might add. Water plus computer is always great. Oh,
no, it's not.
Oskatat5 says it's not you, it's me.
Oh. Okay. I guess.
I feel like that's like that's the same thing you say the breakup, that you just want them to shut up and leave. And like, no, it's not you, it's me. Just go away.
Yeah. Except I can't go.
Yeah. So today I remembered that I have a Discord server.
Do you know that I don't know what Discord is?
It's garbage is what it is. But I have a server. There is a join link in the description. I don't know how long the link will be good for, but if you want to join the Discord server, it's there. There's a fan art chat or a fan art section if you are artistically inclined. I'm going to try to remember that exists, because like, it's one thing to set up a chat group and then forget that it exists and everybody's just chatting with each other, because there's like 200 members there. And they just chat with each other, and they seem to be having a good time. There doesn't seem to be toxicity there at the moment. I only have a few moderators, so hopefully it stays that way, because I have trust issues with people that I've never met before.
What? No way.
But yeah, so there is a Discord server. I do pop in there occasionally. I was in there today, and you can use all the emojis in there.
Emojis.
You have to be a member on this channel to use the emojis in the chat here, but they're all available on Discord. I will try to remember to pop in more often to check out the fan art section, because like I said, it's one thing to set up a chat group and then forget about it and they go off and have a good time on their own. It's another thing when somebody is like, I'm going to pour my heart and soul into this piece of artwork that I hope that he sees, and for me to know that that's a thing that might be happening, and for me to ignore it, then it's like, shame on you. I would feel bad about that. Shame. Path Evermore says Discord is well named. Yes,
shame.
It is. Discord.
Shame.
I'll give it that. Its name is very appropriate. It's basically a chat thing. It was set up to be like a voice chat for people playing games with each other over the internet.
I just gave you the Game of Thrones shame. So.
I know.
Shame.
Does that mean I need to be naked? So this little behind the curtain thing here, in our prep work for the show, I'm still in my pajamas.
What? No way.
She like showers and dresses up and puts makeup on and wears her earrings that she's decided they're not glittery. They're clitory, because they're clitoris glittery earrings with glitter on them. So they're clitory. Yeah. And I love me a good portmanteau, so I'm on board with that. So yeah, she gets
oh, damn it! You've infiltrated my brain.
Yeah, it happens. Oh! So yeah, she's all gussied up and I'm just in my PJs. But in my defense, I do work on like my regular videos, and so like I was just walking on my treadmill, and like to shower before working out is not ideal.
Ew, stinky.
Yeah, I actually am a little bit. Sorry. None of you have to smell, it's just her.
Good thing I have a bad sense of smell. As Griffin would say. That's what they're doing the whole ride.
Were they?
Yeah, at each other. And they were trying to see how much spit they could get to go towards the other.
Elephant asked, can we throw tomato at you?
What?
I mean, you can try. Whatever damage you do to your monitor while making that attempt is not on me. I will not be held liable for that. But yeah, anyway, as always, I will be ignoring the chat except for super chats and tips if they come through the thingy in order to preserve our delightful dynamic.
We have a delightful dynamic.
I think we have a delightful dynamic.
Aww.
And, you know, our viewership isn't as big as it was when we first started.
What?
We only get like 60 to 70 viewers now instead of the like 100 or so that there were initially.
Oh, what am I going to do?
But yeah, that's like 50 to 60 people or 50 to 70 people, whatever I said earlier, that think we have at least an entertaining dynamic. Maybe
To be
not
fair, we haven't been consistent the last several weeks.
no, we've been consistent. We just changed the time last week.
That's called inconsistency.
No, inconsistency would be missing the stream entirely.
The week before we missed the stream entirely because I was camping.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
And then we changed the time for the next one. Inconsistency.
Chad Stewart says a budding therapist just flubbed her tongue at you. Psychoanalyze this.
I don't know. The book that I'm reading now, The Whole Brain Child, says to up the fun factor in the house.
Fun is fun. I can get behind that.
So, there we go.
Okay. What's this chapter called?
The longing of his heart. What do you long for?
Usually potato chips.
It was a beautiful sunny day in Peoria, Illinois. Peoria. What is that?
That's from Quantum Leap. I think
How?
this is not the first time she's mentioned this couple, and we've like brought up that episode a few times. I've been like, "Good morning," and so this time, when I saw that was the first sentence, I was like, "Oh, I'm going to pull that clip."
Excited about the banquet of surprises she had planned for her husband, Jill had slept very little during the night. As the first rays of sunshine peeped through the blinds, Jill quietly climbed out of bed and tiptoed to the kitchen. Moments later, she reappeared to awaken her prince with a kiss on a stubby cheek and the aroma of waffles filling the room.
I don't like the smell of waffles.
No,
Not really.
I do. Good morning, sunshine. Shoot.
I'm sorry.
Well, apparently she
I won't do
whispered it. So,
Oh, that's...
like, I feel like if you're gonna say she whispered it, it has to come first because I've already said it in my head the way I want to say it.
yeah.
So it needs.
If you have a particular inflection,
Yeah.
you need to make it known.
Because now I need to go back and reread it and no.
Yeah.
Anyways. Happy 30th birthday. What's this, Jeremy mused? Oh no, did she make me breakfast on my birthday? What a surprise! Breakfast in bed for the birthday boy, Jill replied. Ooh. Jeremy and Jill have been married for 3 years, and a recent move from Charlotte, North Carolina to Peoria, Illinois. Don't do it.
Stop myself. Okay, that said, I actually don't really like breakfast in bed. It's too difficult to eat, especially like something like waffles. Is like waffles are no good without syrup.
Yeah, you have a breakfast tray.
Yeah, but like you're gonna get syrup on the sheets. Syrup gets everywhere.
Are you 5?
Have you seen our syrup bottle? It is impossible to eat anything with
because our children are all 5. No, because all of our children are 5.
All of our children are spiritually 5.
Yes.
No, it's impossible to eat anything with syrup without getting the syrup everywhere. Impossible.
Impossible.
So it will get all over the sheets, and it's like now I feel.
Yeah, but you just don't like eating in bed anyways. Period.
Yeah,
You
because
just don't
you get crumbs in the sheets, and so, like no, I want to sleep in a nice clean bed.
He doesn't even like people in his bed.
No, I like one person. Well, 2 people in my bed if you include me.
Okay. Damn it. I need my highlighter.
Are you not prepared for this episode?
No, I was not. Okay. It was a reminder that no matter what circumstances they faced in life, they moved as one. Jill had waited 31 years for the man of her dream.
Wait. So they moved from one town to another, and that reinforced that they move as one?
I mean,
Like,
so far.
is it ordinary for couples to move separately when they move to a different town?
I guess maybe people
Like, I mean,
fight?
that does happen in certain circumstances. Like,
Yeah.
if you're doing, like, there are times when someone goes to another country to kind of set down roots and get settled in, and then they bring their family over later. Like, I know that happens, but like in just a normal move of a family between cities, I feel like that's like moving as one is the norm.
I don't know. I feel like sometimes they do the you go first, get set up, and then I'll bring the rest later.
The haggis god says, "Sorry, I'm late to the party."
No problem. Yeah. Anyways, on this day, she was once again overwhelmed with the gift God had given her in Jeremy. Be still, my heart.
Wait, God gave the gift in Jeremy. Does that mean she has to fish it out of him?
I'm sure she does. I'm sure she does.
So is this a chapter on why pegging is okay?
No, that's not where I was going
I'm
with
just
it.
going fishing.
Yeah, I was going the other way.
Like sticking something in his mouth?
Her mouth.
But the gift is in him.
And it comes out of him.
Oh.
Where are you today?
In pegging world, I guess.
Well, I guess I know what's next on your list.
Start small.
There's different sizes, okay? I'm sure we can find one that works.
Fight Mage Studio says, no, there's an obvious. She's got to pump it out of him. Yeah. Okay, I missed the obvious and went for the obscure.
Okay, after Jeremy finished his breakfast, Jill handed him a stack of note cards tied with red ribbon. The top card read, Jeremy, Charles, Tracy, here are 30 ways you are wonderful. Okay, now for your next surprise, Jill explained. Does he not get to read them?
Yeah. It's like, okay, now that you've read the first card that says what the rest of the cards are going to be, you can't read the rest of the cards. Let's do something else.
Oh, apparently that is the next surprise.
Oh, the next surprise is just continue with that surprise?
Yes. Jeremy gingerly removed the ribbon and began to read the cards. You are wonderful because you love the Lord. Oh, you are wonderful because you are handsome and sexy. Why is that the second card? You are wonderful because you are funny. You are wonderful because you are a great listener.
It's priorities. Unless she shuffled them.
Nah, maybe.
But I feel like if she was shuffling them, being good Christian couple, they have to put the God one on top.
Mm-hmm. You're wonderful because you make other people feel special. You are wonderful because you are talented and creative. Okay, he's a great provider and is a wonderful son. The end. Through laughter and tears, Jeremy read the cards aloud, one by one.
Wait, through laughter?
Yeah.
What's nothing on? Okay, if she wants to, compliments can be funny in a way that like is wholesome, like not just like me laughing at you giving me the compliment, but like, oh yeah, that's funny because it tracks, sort of thing. But like, you have to set that up. You can't just say that he was laughing after just listing these clearly not funny ones.
Maybe the cards made him uncomfortable and he was laughing because he was actually uncomfortable and she took it as
like I would do?
Yeah, probably.
Because I can't take a compliment.
You're so sexy.
If you say so. I'm glad you think so.
Through laughter and tears, his uncomfortability turned into tears. Please stop. Jeremy read the cards aloud, one by one. Each card became a jewel in his birthday crown. Oh, she made him a birthday crown. I don't want to go to work today, Jeremy said as he hugged his bride. Little did he know the surprises that awaited him throughout the day. Jeremy walked into his office to discover a list on his desk. Across the top it read, 30 treasured memories. Then he proceeded to read a list Jill had compiled of 30 of their favorite memories. Again,
Okay.
through laughter and tears, Jeremy read each entry and allowed his mind to recall and relish each event.
Okay, is this going to get to marriage advice at some point, or is this just the cheesy story?
I don't know.
It's like, I get it, like, appreciate your partner.
Yeah. An hour before Jeremy's shift was over at the radio station where he worked, Jill showed up with a duffel bag in tow. Oh, she's gonna murder him. She's setting it up. She's like, I love him so much. This is great. And then when he disappears, it's like, I don't know what happened. I planned this beautiful birthday party for him and he just never showed up. Okay. You're early, Jeremy noted as he glanced at the clock. Not today, big guy, Jill replied. I've arranged for another DJ to finish your shift and you're coming with me.
Another DJ. Oh, he's a radio guy.
Yeah. She said that. He worked at the radio.
So it was his job to say,
Yes, it was.
I'm sorry. I couldn't help it. At least I have the volume turned down. Like, if you like, before I set the sampler thingy to one of the volume sliders, it just had it like maxed out and it was like crazy loud and ridiculous.
Well, it loses this effect if it's not crazy loud. That one, at least.
Yeah, that one was actually significantly quieter than ours. I didn't get a chance to properly sound check it because someone was goofing off during the sound check.
I was doing sound
Actually,
check
no,
as per usual.
I purposely didn't sound check that one because I wanted it to be a surprise.
Aw. I love your little surprises.
Some people surprise their partners with cards about how great they are. Other people surprise their partners with sound bites that are annoying.
Oh, okay. Jeremy was then ushered to a back room and with a double like, how is this not ending in murder?
So Oscatat 5 or Oscatat V says his work actually let her put that list on his desk. Wow, where do I find a boss like that? Especially in a radio station, like if he's a DJ, and like they don't just let anyone into the booths. You can't just walk in there. Like this isn't like an office job where you can just like, hey, can I just pop in for a sec?
No, but maybe she knows his boss and she's like, hey,
Yeah,
can you
but
put
there's
this on his
sensitive
desk?
equipment in there. They don't let people in to just fiddle with
Yeah,
stuff.
maybe she gave it to him. Like,
Okay, maybe.
at my old job, my boss would be like, yeah, sure, I'll put that on the desk for her.
All right.
Damn it. Oh, she's in the back room and ordered to change into shorts and t-shirt. Changing his clothes. He came back out. Jill said,
the
okay, now
back room
close
with
your
the stuff
eyes. Like, how is she not murdering him? I have another surprise. What more can you do to make this day special? Jeremy laughed. Little did Jeremy know.
Okay, we got a super chat from Tom Trying to Think, who says, hey, I've seen Jehovah's Witnesses say that a day in the Bible is just a period of time, not a literal day, therefore is not 7 creation days to create earth. Is there any evidence for this? I'm just gonna say, this isn't the stream for that. This is the stream where we make fun of a Christian relationship advice book. Now, that said, there's a thing in, I think it's First Peter, about how a day to God is as 1,000 years, and if you don't take it to mean one day equals exactly 1,000 years, then that can be a metaphorical interpretation.
This is not the stream for that, but
No, it's not.
Rhino,
That's
love
why-
to go on tangents,
that's
so
why I
I'm going to answer your question anyway.
Why I kept it short.
I'm proud of you,
They
babe.
sent us 10 euros. I'm not gonna
I'm not
be like,
judging him.
because there's also no way to refund super chats. So like once you send it, it's gone forever.
I'm not judging him.
I know, but like I would feel bad being like, oh, you
The
sent money
person
to
wants
me
to be
plus-
heard. They will be heard.
Okay, yeah,
I just love your. This is not the place for that, but let me go off on my tangent.
I did it quickly.
Okay, so
He said sorry. It's okay. Don't
yeah, don't worry.
don't stress.
No stress. We don't stress here.
This is a very laid back stream.
Yeah, we're reading about someone getting murdered. It's like all in the book. We should look up this Jeremy to see if he's still alive. Just close your eyes. They're closed. Now open.
So blink.
Jill squealed. John, what are you doing here? Helping Jill murder you. Sorry.
Wait, Jill.
I don't know who
wait,
John
wait.
is. I haven't introduced John yet.
So wait, Jill brought. What's his name?
Jeremy to the
Jeremy?
back room
So Jill,
with a
Jeremy,
duffel
and
bag, had him change his clothes, close his eyes, and then John appeared.
And now Jill is squealing, John, how did you get here or whatever.
No,
That's what you said.
she said Jill squealed, now open.
Oh, Jill squealed, now open.
Well,
And then he
now
said, "John, what are you
open.
doing
Jill
here?"
squealed.
So
Jo-
is it now a threesome?
I don't know yet. We don't know
what
who John
it's
is.
leading up
I
to.
thought John was just going to help kill Jeremy, but I don't know.
Or yeah, could go one way or the other.
Yeah. I couldn't let my buddy celebrate his 30th birthday without me, the surprise guest replied. The two men embraced. Jill cried.
So this is definitely heading to threesome territory more than killing territory.
Yeah, they could be in a polyamorous relationship. One thing Jeremy missed most after his move to Illinois was his best friend, that's what we call it, prayer partner.
Prayer partner.
Oh, and Sunday school teacher, John Reinhardt. Jill had arranged for John to fly to Peoria to share their special day. Their special day? It's his birthday.
Yeah.
What?
His birthday is his and John's special day.
Oh. It was a tremendous...
So wait, is this a cuck situation?
I don't know.
Is it still a cuck when it's the woman on the side? Is that still the term used for that? Or is there a different one for that?
I don't know. But is it cuck or is it voyeurism? Or is it just a plain old threesome?
Depends how much she participates.
We don't know yet.
Yeah, okay.
Let's see if Sharon tells us.
Somehow I don't think so.
Jill had arranged for John to fly to Peoria to share their special day. It was a tremendous surprise and one Jeremy would never forget.
It sounds like a sex
not.
thing. It sounds like a sex thing.
Jeremy's birthday was filled with surprises and acts of love. Ooh.
Yeah, that's
Both big and small.
is that what it says? So is it John or Jeremy that's big or small?
I don't know.
It's John, Jeremy, and Jill. They've all got J names. So it's like
At the end of the day, when Jill snuggled up beside her prince in bed, he held her tight and let the tears trickle down his face onto hers.
this is the pillow talk. John's in the bed too.
Yeah.
At this point, based on everything that we've read,
And
the sex was so good that it brought tears to his eyes.
It did. I have never had even one surprise in all my birthdays. I still can't believe I can't believe all you went through to make this day special. He then cupped her face in his hands and whispered, "You love me so much." Thank you, Jeremy, for acknowledging that. Oh my god.
Honey, have I told you lately that you think I'm sexy?
No, you haven't. Please tell me again.
You think I'm sexy?
Oh, yes.
That's gonna be, from now on when I leave, I'm just gonna be like, you love me. Bye, you love me.
Maybe this is a brainwashing scenario. It's like, blink twice, Jill, if you need some help. Okay.
Dog. Puddles.
You better believe I do, Jill smiled. That's why I did all this. You are so special to me. I adore you.
Oh, got big puddles.
One of your husband's greatest longings is to be adored, admired, and appreciated by the woman of his dreams. Dear Lord, he didn't even the story didn't even finish with him being like, I love you. Like,
yeah, you love me.
well, I thought it was still going to come back around. Like, I appreciate everything you did for me today, and I love you so, like, something. I guess it's not about the men. It's about, well, it is about the men, but it's about what the women do. But yeah.
So invite a guy over for a threesome is the message of this chapter so far.
If that's what you want.
That's how you prove that.
Sharon says you want it, so I guess that's what we're doing.
And then afterwards, while we're all three of us cuddling up in bed, I will lovingly tell you that you love me.
Oh. Too many times we walk down the aisle with a striking resemblance to Snow White. Whew.
What? We walk down the aisle with a striking resemblance to Snow White. What does that mean?
But then somehow we turn into the Wicked Queen. I don't know, the Wicked Queen was pretty too. Like, I don't know. I mean, I do talk to animals and trees and stuff, so I guess.
You give animals a voice. If you're a patron of mine, I've started posting the pre-show shenanigans that we do. And a lot of them are her speaking on Puddle's behalf. And despite the look on her face, I assure you she is quite happy being held like this. She just looks grumpy. That's her. She's got resting bitch face. And I mean, she's a bitch, so like definitionally.
She takes after her mother. Okay, so you want to be adored and you want Snow White and you don't want me to turn into a wicked queen. If that's the case in your home, fear not. The story's not over yet. Oh, does he actually love her?
Come on, I'm tired of this story though. Like,
Yeah, but
give me the advice.
The ending was really good, though. I mean, kind of.
But it's not the ending.
Well, let's see. I mean, she still hasn't actually officially told us it was a threesome, so we might still get that.
Oh, okay.
We can draw a line in the sand and say no more, like Jonah in chapter 9. We can make a commitment to adore our husbands and give him our best.
You said Jonah again. It's Jonah.
Jonah.
Because Jonah made me think it was a guy.
Oh, I thought she was referencing the Bible.
No, yeah, that's what I thought it was like biblical name or whatever because she's replacing them. But yeah, no, that was the really sad story, wasn't it? The one where
yeah,
like,
she waited like 10 years.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Okay, give him our best. Oh, bless him, edify him, share with him, touch him.
Share with him and touch him. That's bring John to share and do lots of touching with John.
And him.
Threesome confirmed.
Let's take a look at how your husband can echo Jeremy's sentiments. I don't want you to echo those sentiments. As he lays his head on the pillow at night, you must really love me. No, that's not what I want you to say. I mean, you can acknowledge that, but please follow it up with, I love you too.
Oh,
We get some more
more stories.
quotes from her interviewees. Jim, I earn a good six-figure income.
Is she incapable of making up a name that doesn't start with a J? We've got Jonah, Jim, Jeremy, John. What was the woman's name in this one?
Jill.
Jill. Next one's gonna be like, no, I can do G too. This one's called Jeff. Actually, there was a Jeff earlier.
G off.
There was a Jeff earlier, wasn't there?
I think there was, yes.
And it was with a G.
Probably G off.
G off. No, G off.
G off. Okay, but Jim earns a good six-figure income and works hard so my wife doesn't have to work outside the home. No, I just work her to the bone inside the home.
What if she wants to, though? Some people find fulfillment.
Well, he said doesn't have to.
Okay.
So implying maybe that she has the option, but I rarely feel appreciated. Instead, I feel like a nuisance because I might occasionally make a floor dirty or leave a cup out.
I mean, yeah, clean up after yourself.
Because working inside the home doesn't count as real work.
Yeah, I mean, well, okay, here's the thing. Sometimes I am a nuisance because I leave stuff lying around and you don't appreciate that. And I am aware of this. But like, if you ask me, hey, can you tidy that up, please? I look and go like, oh, yeah, shoot. Sorry, that was thoughtless of me. Of course I'll clean it up.
But he doesn't consider work in the home actual work. So
But it is, though.
yeah, but sorry, Jim makes
just ask
six
the kid that's been on
figures
dish
and he
duty this
doesn't
week.
think that his wife
Ask the
does
kid that
real
was on
work.
dish duty this week if working inside the home is actual work. Every single time. But he's such a procrastinator. He's every time like, hey, there's dishes to do. Oh, I have to go to the washroom.
Yeah.
Every time.
I'm not gonna lie, I used to do that when we'd come home from grocery shopping and we all had to help bring in the groceries. I need to use the washroom, and then I go stay in the washroom.
Yeah, but you were a middle child, so you could get away with it.
No, I was a baby.
You were the baby?
I was
thought
the
there were-
baby.
I thought you were the
No. Well,
Well, I mean, you are now.
for my mama is that I'm the baby. That's really the only one that counts because I didn't live with the other ones.
Okay, fair point.
Jack.
Another J.
The one thing that can make her
Did she learn how to name characters by reading DC Comics?
maybe. No, man, she's gonna mix it up in just a minute.
Hello, my name is Fearmonger said just before you read that. Please, the next one be Jack, because coming after Get Off would be cosmically hilarious. There you go, Fearmonger. Wish granted.
The one
Prayer
thing...
works.
Prayer works. Okay, so I actually have, I'm going to go on a tangent now. So I actually have this thought that prayer actually does work.
Okay.
And there is a reason for it.
Because if you constantly think about something, then you will be more inclined to do things to make whatever it is you're praying about happen.
No.
Like positive affirmation sort of stuff.
Kind of. So I should say,
there is some truth to that.
prayer works for yourself. I'm not guaranteeing prayer works for you praying for other people, but prayer works for yourself. In that, when you pray, you usually start off with gratitude. Dear Lord, thank you for blah, 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 blah. And
okay, so it puts you in a better frame of mind.
Yep, and studies show that gratitude helps with depression, and it puts you in a better frame of mind, and all that kind of stuff.
I could see that.
So if every night you're doing your gratitude practice, which I call it, Dear Lord, thank you for blah, 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 blah. And then it's, Dear Lord, please help me, blah, 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 blah. So you're acknowledging areas of your life where you're struggling. And then usually you end with, I'm going to try to. So you start creating a plan of how you're going to make it better.
I feel like that's not how most people use prayer, though.
They don't intentionally do it. But I feel like that's the format that a lot of people subconsciously take. It's, Dear Lord, thank you for this day and all my children and blah, 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 you know.
So we've actually instituted in the house, this was your idea, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or was it?
No, it was
Lily's?
Yep.
Okay, so it was Lily's idea. We've instituted in the house, we now pray before meals again, except we don't pray to God, we pray to whoever provided the meal.
Which is normally me, so yay me.
Yeah, so and they do it with the she went to a Christian camp last year, and they learned the song blessing things where you like sing to the tune of the Superman theme, thank you God for giving us food. So they'll do that, but like replace God with whoever made or bought the food. And yes, it is usually you. And then your boys are hilarious when it's me, because they're used to it being you.
Yep.
You're like, no, I'm not going to say thank you. It's you.
Well, they did do you, and then they did me afterwards. Okay, so back to Jack. The one thing that could make our marriage better is for my wife to appreciate and encourage me. Okay.
The one thing?
Or you could just be motivated, but okay.
I mean, there is, so this has been the theme throughout this whole book, is that there is some good advice, but the framing of the advice is just so atrocious that it's like, it becomes bad advice with the framing. But like, if you just take these little nuggets by themselves, just like, appreciate your partner, let them know that they are appreciated, make sure they feel your appreciation.
Yeah.
That's good advice.
Yeah, no, 100%. But like, sometimes I wonder, he says, for my wife to appreciate and encourage me. So does that mean that she discourages him, or does it mean she's just neutral and doesn't say anything?
I think in the context that we've been given for this so far, it would be that she's annoyed that he doesn't help around the house.
No, this is a different person. This is Jack.
I thought that was Jack.
No.
Jack is six-figure income guy?
Jim is six-figure.
Oh, okay.
Jack just wants his wife to appreciate and encourage him.
Oskatat says context is everything, like with the pegging.
Exactly. Ben.
We got a B.
We got a B. I wish my wife understood how hard I work for my family to provide for them. I long for more physical attention, hugs, hand-holding, sitting close. Ben.
Okay, but that's okay. You can do the physical stuff without it actually being appreciation, so that seems kind of irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, if you start rubbing my back, I'm not going to be like, oh, this is her appreciating the hard work that I do. I'm just going to sit there and like do my equivalent of purring.
You do. But my question here is, he's like, I work hard to provide for my family. Okay, and you want her to appreciate you. Now, does she also work and then also come home and take care of the home, and she doesn't feel appreciated?
If she's going unappreciated, she's not going to be appreciating you. It's a two-way street.
Or
this is a marriage advice book for women.
Yeah.
But like, a lot of the advice so far has been stuff that like, no, that's not just on the woman. That's a two-way street. It needs to go both ways.
Yes. And like, people have this misunderstanding of being a stay-at-home wife and being a woman of leisure. So,
I mean, six-figure income, maybe they can afford to hire someone to clean the house.
Maybe.
It doesn't say what the six figures are. Like if it's 100,000, then
That's not really.
that depending on where they live,
Yeah.
that might be doable, but it also might not be. But like if it's 900,000,
Yeah.
then yeah, maybe somebody comes in to clean every day.
Maybe.
Maybe they have a live-in nanny.
Yeah.
Looking after the kids.
Yeah. So, but that's what I mean. There's a difference between a stay-at-home wife. A stay-at-home wife is cooking and cleaning and picking up the kids and taking them to all their after-school activities and all that kind of stuff. A woman of leisure, she might do some of that. She might hire someone to do that. And so, yeah, I could see someone being upset if I'm out working all day and you're home watching soap operas and going to yoga class and having coffee with your girlfriends and then coming home and then I don't feel appreciated. I get that.
Yeah.
But if you're a stay-at-home wife and you are cooking and cleaning and doing the laundry and taking the kids to school and packing lunches and helping them with homework and picking them up and taking them to their millions of after-school activities.
And dad is not being appreciative of this fact.
And dad is not being
then
appreciative of this
maybe
fact.
she's got good reason to not
Yeah.
be appreciative of
Or
him.
being frustrated when you dirty the floor.
Yeah.
Or not pick up your socks.
I'm sorry.
Okay. I wish my wife understood how important being appreciated is. Kurt. We got Ben and Kurt. I think we're moving on from the J's.
Yeah, I'd say she was doing it alphabetically, but this is not alphabetic. She went
No.
from J to B.
The AAA Club of Marriage.
Ooh, maybe if we go through the book chronologically and just like take the first letter of every name of a person that's in it, it'll like spell out a message and really Sharon's cry for help.
Ooh.
Except I can't think of any message that would have that many J's in a row.
Sharon, do you need some help? Blink twice. Okay. The AAA Club of Marriage. Adoration, admiration, and appreciation.
Okay.
The woman of your man's dreams adores, admires, and appreciates him. Cool. She thinks he is the most wonderful man to walk the earth. He's brave and brilliant, loving and logical through the tender, handsome, and humorous, masculine and magnificent, sexy and savvy. Okay, please. Like, if they're all these things, I'm sure your wife would appreciate
I'd also
you.
I don't want you to appreciate me because you have to appreciate me based on the relationship that we're in. I want you to appreciate me for what I actually am. I know that I am not the best looking man on the planet.
I think you're sexy.
Okay. And I appreciate that. See, I appreciate you.
Yay.
But like there are better looking men than me out there. There are men that get haircuts regularly.
Name one that's better looking, not haircut one.
I don't know, the guy who plays Thor, Chris Hemsworth.
Meh.
That's muscly. I know you're not into the muscly. I don't know.
There really is just one name that pretty much
Pierce Brosnan?
No.
Not now, like in his prime.
There's still only one name that I feel that's pretty universal that everyone can kind of agree on.
What's that? Benedict Cumberbatch?
No.
He's actually kind of weird looking. It's the accent that does it for him.
We shall see.
What's the name? Who is it that you find more attractive than me?
Ryan Reynolds.
Okay, yeah, fair. See?
Yeah, but he's been in my heart since I was a teenager.
And that's fine.
It's been a long road for me and Ryan.
Yeah, but that's my point. Like, and that's okay. It's okay. I know that I'm not like there's what 8 billion people on the planet now. I think we passed the 8 billion mark recently.
All right.
In the last few years, yeah. So there's 8 billion people on the planet. The odds that I am the sexiest man among... Okay, well, if we're just dividing it into men and women, that's about 50%. So 4 billion. That's a 1 in 4 billion chance against me being the sexiest man on the planet. Plus, beauty is subjective. Mm-hmm. Attractiveness is subjective. Mm-hmm. So, like, there are people who are totally into muscles who will be like,
Ugh.
no, my dad bod is not attractive at all. I want Thor's Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth. But then there are people that are not into muscles. That like my dad bod does it.
True story.
But then Ryan Reynolds comes along.
Mm.
He's like, I don't think he's dad body, but
No, but Ryan Reynolds is like, he's got the humor, he's got the charm, he's got the
Well, see,
money.
there's-
No, I'm joking.
well, yeah, but there's another aspect of it, because attractiveness is like, not only is it subjective, but it's also not entirely physical.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
Yep.
there can be people that are like I just said, Benedict Cumberbatch, he's actually a bit of a weird looking guy,
Mm-hmm.
but like his mannerisms, his humor, his wit, the way he talks and everything, that makes him more attractive.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I mean, also with celebrities, you tend to
the way he says
like their
penguins.
characters more so
Yeah.
than them.
Well, I don't know, because I don't like Sherlock. Like, I like the show, first couple seasons, but
Yeah, but it also depends on the person and what's the first show they saw them in. So I think the first show I saw him in was Doctor Strange.
could you imagine the first someone that the first thing they saw him in was that documentary where he couldn't say penguins?
I didn't see that documentary.
Oh, it's hilarious. Listening to him try and say penguins. I think I pointed it out to you when in that Penguins of Madagascar movie, because he's in that. I think I forget what character it is, but like he has to say penguin a bunch of times, and you can hear him struggling with it. Like he's saying it correctly, but he's like really concentrating.
Yeah.
And so like I joked that they cast him in that role as a practical joke, or like his agent was like, yeah, he would love to do that one after the documentary thing came up, because like it's hilarious.
Never saw it.
Okay, well, I'll have to show you the clip.
Awesome sauce. Okay, so apparently our husbands are supposed to be brave, brilliant, loving, logical, tough and tender, handsome and humorous, masculine and magnificent, sexy and savvy.
Okay, but not everybody fits all these descriptors.
No,
Like,
apparently they do.
Like you saying that women need to see their husbands as these things,
Yeah.
when
that's
not
what Sharon
everybody
says.
is those things.
Sharon says so.
Not everybody is those things, though. That's self-deception. None of your business says there's also a matter of individual emotion. My woman is the sexiest woman in the world to me because of my attachment to her. Absolutely.
Why, she just can't say enough about all of his wonderful attributes. That's the stuff of your man's dreams. I think that's why you like it when I get high.
No, you're just silly when you're high, and it's fun.
Yeah, and all I do is tell you how much I love you.
As you're laughing at me for some stupid thing that I've done.
Because you're a shapeshifter.
Forgot about that. You haven't done that in a while.
I did it this morning. I just
Did you?
didn't say it.
Okay, yeah.
What does it mean to adore your husband? Basically, it means to love him with all your heart. There's no room for anybody else in here. It's all yours.
You hear that, Puddles? She's all mine. Or I'm all hers, or something like that. I don't know.
And let him know about it. George Eliot once said,
Puddles
I
is
like
still
not
here- still
only
here, if
to,
you're wondering.
I like not only to be loved, but to be told I am loved. Yeah, I'm sure Jill wanted to be too. Like, sorry, I'm very passionate about this one. Do you want to see your husband's face light up like a full moon? Tell him
Do you
you
want your
are
husband to
amazed
moon
that.
you? Do you want your husband to moon you?
Well,
But
that's
with
what
his
I
face.
thought of. Tell him you are amazed that he knows how to blank, or that you are impressed by his blank.
Ooh. You're impressed by
Hold
his
on.
sense.
I'm amazed that you know how to stimulate my clitoris,
Why are you amazed at
or
that?
that you are, or that I am impressed by your penis. She told me I'd tell you these things.
Okay.
That's what she said. Does that make you feel better?
Are you actually impressed by my penis?
Yeah, I like your penis. Why wouldn't I like your penis?
Because penises are weird.
They are weird though. They are. Which is why I only like to pick one. Oh, okay. And then sit back and watch him glow. Oh, you are kind of glowing. Oh.
I'm glowing. I turned white as a sheet. That's why I turned it off earlier, because I was looking at myself being like, there's way, like, I don't know, the webcam is oversaturated or something, and it's still like, and then it readjusts. Like I turned it off, and it like looks normal for a second, but then it readjusts, and now like I'm shiny where these lights are hitting me. But
Just accept it. You are.
You can bask in my glow. I'm as reflective as a white Scottish guy because I am a white Scottish guy.
You become the mirror in which your husband sees himself. Do you see yourself through my eyes?
I mean, yeah, you can see reflections in eyes if you get close enough.
One day, Annabelle Gilham was sitting on the deck of a vacation spot doing her needlework. Women always have the most boring jobs.
This isn't a job. This is her hobby.
I know,
got a
but like
very
when you
womanly
think
hobby
back
of
to
doing
like the
needlework.
whatever century, and that's all women would do is like needlework. And I'm like,
Wasn't that a whole plot point in the first Game of Thrones book? Or first season? It was like
something.
Sansa was good at the needlework, and
Yeah,
what's her face?
I would
Arya
still
was
be
not.
an Arya. I would. Mm-mm.
Stick 'em with the pointy end.
That's what she said.
Mm.
Her thimble slipped off her finger. I can't say it's boring because some people really do love it.
Yeah,
Good on
but,
you
like
guys.
for you, it's boring.
It is.
But it is quite telling that these are all the examples that she pulls up of women enjoying themselves as doing traditionally women things.
Yeah. Her thimble slipped off her finger, dropped through a crack in the boards, and disappeared into the lake.
Did she pricked her thumb on the spinning wheel and
Fell asleep, maybe.
fell asleep?
Maybe.
Okay.
She went into the cabin, rummaged around until she found another thimble and went back to her sewing. This time, her husband Bill was sitting on the deck with her. The thimble came off again, hit her leg, and was heading for the water. Bill reached out from his chair,
Ooh,
picked
ooh, ooh.
the thimble out of thin air, and handed it back to her.
That's some good thimblesism right there. So wait, like they're impressed that he gave the thimble back.
Your coordination just amazes me,
Oh, he caught the thimble. Okay.
she said, smiling. I just love that kind of stuff, he beamed.
Wait, like that doesn't seem like something that would naturally be said in that scenario. Like I feel like it would have been more like a, oh, nice catch. It's like who sees something like that and is like, your coordination is amazing to me.
Yeah.
Like no, you say nice catch. And nice catch is still an
Meanwhile, he's
appreciation.
like a professional baseball player. When Bill told that story at one of his lifetime guarantee, lifetime guarantee. What are you lifetime guaranteeing over there, Bill? Who the fuck is Bill? Steve's your husband. Who the fuck is Bill?
I don't know.
Oh, Bill's this woman. He caught it. Okay, sorry. When Bill told the story at one of his lifetime guarantee seminars, okay, why do you have to add that part in? We don't know who Bill is and we don't know what he does for a
And
living.
we don't know what a lifetime guarantee seminar is.
Yeah. A man came up to him and said, "Man, if my wife would say things like that to me, I'd dive in after that other thimble." That was his big story, his big like hoorah story at his convention.
But what if he didn't catch it and he just picked it up? And then she says thank you.
Because we do know
That's also
that people like to
appreciation.
embellish their stories, so
Yeah, but like, I
he
mean,
probably
like,
did just pick it up.
I don't know.
Randall, the woman of my dreams, is one who treats me like the king of my castle, yet still knows she is the queen and is not afraid to confront me when she sees that I need some direction.
Well, that goes against the rest of this book so far.
I know. I'm like, I like you, Randall.
Yeah, good for you, Randall. But
Yeah.
like, the rest of this book has been like, no, he makes the decisions.
Yeah.
And I guess it's like, yeah, you're allowed to have a dissenting opinion, but as soon as he decides against it, you just have to shut up and take it.
Yeah, pretty
So
much.
maybe it's like, yeah, it's okay for her to have the dissenting opinion as long as she doesn't insist on her dissenting opinion.
Who knows? We're back to Bill. I don't know if it's the same Bill or a different Bill, but we're back to a Bill. What one thing I wish the woman of my dreams understood.
Captain Miller says, oh God, he does MLM. I had thought of that too. Like is Lifetime in the name of an MLM? Because like that did sound kind of MLM-y, or,
Yeah.
like lifetime guarantee or whatever. Like I did think that, because I used to do an MLM. If you're not aware, I do have a video on my channel that details my story about it, so you can go look that up.
Your tragic story of your experience in
It wasn't
MLM.
tragic. It was just like, I don't know, looking back on it and reflecting on it is just weird.
I've already
like-
told you, I have no idea who this Justin is that you talk of when you tell me these stories.
Yeah. Yeah.
All these stories are weird to me. Damn it! Bill, Stan, we're on Stan. The woman of my dreams loves spending time with me. She hugs me, kisses me, and she initiates sexy time. Sexy time.
Okay.
That's it.
None of that really belongs in this chapter, but sure.
Yeah.
Like that's
I got 1 point though. That's my 1 point that I got so
What's
far in
that?
this book.
what's that?
Then I hug you, kiss you, and I initiate sexy time.
Okay.
I got 1 point.
I feel like that's 3 things, so that's 3 points.
No, well, it's only on one thing, so
Oh, okay.
that's 1 point out of her whole book. I mean, she hasn't confirmed that that's okay yet, but she put it in the book.
No, I'm
so
pretty
I
sure
guess.
there's going to be a chapter later about how, you know, if I am not being a good husband, the way you fix that is by having more sex with me. I'm pretty sure there's an entire chapter on that.
I'm a sex slave now.
Yeah, according to Christianity.
That's kind of fun. Where does he
If
go
you're
to?
into it.
Where does he go to feel admired and appreciated? Where does your husband go for admiration and appreciation? He goes somewhere else.
I go to the internet where I have legions of fans. Discord link is in the description. Just a reminder. We've got 86 viewers now. This
What? Hi, guys. All men do. Does he go to work in hopes of hearing, job well done? Does he go to the ball field in hopes of hearing, way to go, man?
actually.
Does he go
So-
back home to his mother?
So, run the mummy.
God.
I was just gonna say, during the stream, I got an email that I saw that was from Surfshark, my Surfshark rep, and I have my next video is sponsored by them, and so they have to approve the ad before I can schedule the video. So I'm like, I got the email. I didn't see what the email said, so I'm like, I'm hoping for approval
Job
from
well
the Surfshark
done.
lady.
That's a job well done, Rhino.
I hope so. Sponsors are annoying because sometimes they demand changes that like the only possible reason for that change is because they want to exert dominance and just tell you like, oh, change this thing. Surfshark used to be like at the beginning they were like that a lot, but there have
Maybe
been a
they
few
just
times
didn't
when-
know what they wanted.
Maybe I don't know because I've changed reps since then, so maybe it's different people doing the reviewing now.
Maybe.
Anyway, Surfshark is actually really good. This is just like my personal behind the scenes annoyance. But
Way
like,
to go,
they're-
man.
It's a good company. They've been my most reliable sponsor during my YouTube channel, so I probably shouldn't shit talk them. But like I do, like everything I say about them is true. I personally utilize them.
Yeah, you put it on my stuff, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
True
When
story.
I go to Starbucks, every now and then, if kids have to go somewhere, I go to Starbucks and I open up a laptop and start working. I use Surfshark, especially since a bunch of big YouTube channels got their channels stolen through stuff like that, and it's like, okay,
Surfshark is not paying me, so
yeah, no, they're not paying me for this either.
yeah, but they're not paying me at all. They don't get to take up my airtime.
Okay,
Does he go back home to his mother to hear?
Surfshark.deal/Rhino.
I'm so proud of you, son. Does he work late in hopes for a few compliments from the gals in the office? Why? Does he feast?
But why would the gals in the office be complimenting a guy because he works late? Is that a normal thing? Like, oh, that guy's working late. You're so good at working late.
Yeah, no, that's not what's happening.
Like, I've
there.
never had a corporate job that had that sort. Well, I mean, I guess when I was a debt collector, that could have technically been considered that. But like, never once did, like, the only person I thought I would impress if I worked late was my boss, and I was not actually interested in doing that because that was like the absolute worst job I've ever had.
So I think what happens is that when you work late, there's less people in the office. So you get to hang out a little bit more and conversations become a little more casual. And so it's like, oh, I like your shirt. It's so cute. No, you do such a good job. Can you teach me? That's what he was hoping for.
I mean, casual compliment stuff happens during the date. Like I've had people tell me stuff like that, like when I painted my toenails and was bringing in pictures of my daughter painting my toenails. Except for my one conservative coworker who refused to talk to me the rest of that day, and I didn't particularly care for him, so that was actually a
Was
good
that
day.
a corporate job?
No, that was
Yeah, I'm talking corporate job.
waiting tables.
I'm talking corporate. There's less eyes on you.
You kidding me?
At corporate?
The owners and the owners'
No, I'm
lackeys
talking
would
about
regularly
a
be
corporate-
showing up to be like,
I'm talking corporate jobs at night.
Serving is at night.
Not the same thing.
Okay.
Does he feast on compliments from patients or clients? Is that why you got into your job? For compliments?
I actually think compliments from my fans are weird. Like,
You think compliments from anybody's
I
weird?
do, yes.
Does he hang out at the gym flexing and building his biceps?
No, fuck that.
Tell me, where does your man go to be admired? To the living room.
Or the bedroom.
Or the bedroom. My man don't leave the house. Trapped. Forever. In my first job as a dental hygienist, I noticed how all female staff as well as patients admired the doctor in the building where I worked. I admired them too. Why? They were a wonderful group of very talented men who were gifted and skilled in their chosen profession. Cool.
So I admire my dentist because he's really good with the kids.
Yeah, that's hard though. Like, not everybody is.
I know. That's why I really appreciate him. And like, I'm actually not too sure about his actual dentistry because there was last time I was in to have a cavity filled, he looked at the x-ray and he was like, oh, that's a really shallow one. We can do this without anesthetic. And it got really, like, I could start feeling the drill and and like, it was one of those like, oh no, you're just imagining it. It's fine. I'll keep going sort of things. And like,
Now you know what every woman feels ever.
yeah, when you go to the doctor, yeah. You're just being hysterical.
Yeah.
You've got the wandering womb.
Just your period. Don't worry about it.
Fearmonger says, your voice is so sumptuous, Vice Rhino. Thanks.
Okay.
I've thought about narrating audiobooks, but that seems like a lot of work. Also, I definitely would not be doing voices because I'm just not good at them, and I would forget which voices I did for who. So it was just like,
Yeah, I know. No, I don't know that I like when people do voices, but what I
it
did
depends
like.
on the person. Like right now, I'm listening to Small Gods, which is a Terry Pratchett book, and it's narrated by Andy Serkis. He is phenomenal at voices. Although some of his voices, depending on some of the voices can be hard to hear, but it depends on what speakers you're listening on because they have like different speakers have different audio profiles, and like the crappy little Bluetooth speaker that I use in the shower, you can't hear the low register very well. It gets kind of muddled together, and Andy Serkis does a lot of voices on the low register. Wolbish is a very deep voice. I can't do it because I'm not Andy Serkis.
What I like is I'm on the book that I'm listening to, The Whole Brain Child. It's narrated by the two authors, so they like go back and forth, like. So I like the breakup of not just one person.
So yes, I agree. And I was going to use a book that was narrated by Richard Dawkins, and I think it was his wife at the time, as an example, with the caveat that Richard Dawkins is currently a dick, and I don't want to be associated with anything that he has to say anymore. But he did have some good books.
Okay. So as a young girl in my early 20s, I wondered how the doctors' wives felt about the praises their husbands received all day.
Is that normal? Does that actually happen in dentist's office that the hygienists are just like, oh, excellent work, doctor. You're so good at your job, doctor. Like, did these people
So I
watch an
have
episode of MASH where there was like a new nurse seeing Hawkeye work for the first time? And
I have two friends that are dental hygienists, and that is not how they talked about their doctors.
okay. That sounds more realistic, actually. like familiarity breeds contempt, right?
Yeah. So
Chad Stewart says you're so intelligent and moderately handsome. That moderately handsome is a compliment that I can accept. I will take. Thank you, Chad.
amazingly, a few years later, I had the.
I'm sorry. You're supposed to be sending super chats or I'm supposed to be ignoring you, but I'm bad at that. Rethian Greymane says, your hair is lustrous like the used dental floss of an angry god. that one's good. Like, okay. I don't know what that means, but I love it.
Amazingly, a few years later, I had the opportunity to find out for myself. After working for 2 years, I decided to go back to college to get a bachelor's of science. While there, I met a married Steve.
A married Steve?
Steve was married before you guys got together?
Is she a homewrecker?
Steve was married.
Is this the Steve or is this a different Steve?
This is Steve Janus.
Ooh.
Where I met. Oh, sorry.
Met and married? Okay.
Better when I thought he was married.
You're writing a better book in your head.
I'm like, a young dental assistant or student. Oh. When he started his practice, I remembered the admiring women from years before, and I made a commitment that of all Steve's admirers, he would have from the day he would the day he opened his practice until the day he retired, I was going to be his #1 fan. Cool, love it. I said that to you.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I'm not going to be a stalker about it, but I'll be your #1 fan.
Okay.
I mean, kind of living with you, so I kind of did stalk you and move in.
Yeah, but you didn't know about the channel until after we started dating.
That's very true.
So it's that you didn't stalk me.
No, I didn't do a very good job. I'm a poor stalker.
Good.
Dr. Willard Harley says, Dr. Willard Harley, look that up. When a woman tells a man she thinks he's wonderful, that inspires him to achieve more. He sees himself as capable.
He's the author of His Needs, Her Needs, another Christian marriage book.
Okay, why is he a doctor? Is he an honorary doctor at some Christian college?
Let's see. Does he have a Wikipedia? I don't know. This isn't Wikipedia. This is encyclopedia.com. Oh, social worker. No, those are his parents. Education. University of California. PhD in religion.
That doesn't count. Okay.
Wait, no. That's just... It just says Education, University of California, Santa Barbara, PhD, and then religion, Protestant. So he is a Protestant. It doesn't say what his PhD is in. Just that he has one.
He sees himself as capable of handling new responsibilities and perfecting skills far above those of his present level. That inspiration helps him prepare for the responsibilities of life. So who's helping her prepare for the responsibilities of life? Admiration not only motivates, it also rewards the husband's existing achievements.
He's got a PhD in psychology.
Oh, okay. From where?
University of California at Santa Barbara. Huh. So legitimate. But having a legitimate PhD doesn't mean you're good at using it.
No, does not. When she tells him that she appreciates him for what he has done, it gives him more satisfaction than he receives from his paycheck. You could do without your paycheck and just live off of me telling you how much I appreciate you?
Well, the paycheck is just money. I do appreciate hearing you say how much you appreciate me more than I appreciate the money. However, both are necessary. Well, the money is more necessary probably when push comes to shove.
True story. Although, I don't want money. I don't want to need money. Money's stupid. A woman needs to appreciate her husband for what he already is. Preach it. Not for what he could become. Preach it. If he lived up to her standards, cool. I agree with all that. Acknowledge who you're marrying. They are who they are. Don't try and change them. For some men, those with fragile self-images, admiration also helps them believe in themselves. You just said don't change him.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the whole thing where, like, where I can't take a compliment sort of thing, I guess.
But he's like,
I don't know if I'd describe my self-image as fragile.
he's saying, you know, your husband is who he is. Don't love him for who he could become. However, if you appreciate him, you'll booster his self-confidence, and then he can achieve all these things.
So change who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without it, these men seem inherently more defensive about their shortcomings. Inherently.
I mean, it's the Johnny Lingo thing again.
What's that?
You don't remember? I told you about Johnny Lingo, the Polynesian guy who buys his wife for more cows than she's worth, and that makes her pretty.
No, you didn't.
I'm sure I've told you about this
I've
on
never
stream
heard.
before.
You tell me about people all the time, and I don't know who they are.
No, because this is last time I brought it up. Somebody pointed out that I covered that movie with Mrs. Rhino on a drunken movie night thing, and I was like, I don't remember that, and you were like, yeah, it's because of the alcohol. Isn't that the point?
I don't remember any of that either. Okay.
Anyway, that's the thing. That's what it's getting at, is that if you pay him all these compliments to boost his self-image, then he will grow into the compliment, I guess.
Right,
Something like
except
that.
he's also telling us to not change him.
Yeah.
Okay,
This is the first time this book has contradicted itself. This is one of the this is one of the less bad contradictions.
This isn't this book, it's Dr. Willard Harley contradicting himself. It's an excerpt from, I'm guessing,
His Needs, Her Needs?
I don't know, it just says, Willard Harley says, while criticism causes men to become defensive, admiration energizes and motivates them. A man expects and needs his wife to be his most enthusiastic fan. He draws confidence from her support and can usually achieve far more with her.
Behind every great man is a great woman.
True story.
And behind every great woman is a woman who had to fight against the patriarchy to get there.
That is also true.
So maybe men should step it up a bit if they... Actually, sidebar.
Yes.
Itchy boob, I'll scratch it. So, you know how, like, it's a common thing that people will be like, oh, women shouldn't be in leadership roles because they're too emotional. It's really funny because, like, if you watch something like Fox News, you can see that, like, the women on Fox News have to be more level-headed. Like, Laura Ingraham says some crazy shit and she gets upset about some crazy shit, but she's always like, she always tries to, like, have a cool, calm, and collected tone about it. Like, she'll say it in this incredulous tone, but, like, she doesn't raise her voice. She doesn't, like, she's very careful about her delivery. Whereas you get people like Jesse Waters or Greg Gutfeld that are, like, regularly just completely lose their shit and start screaming and that's the end of the world, whatever, and, like, they go nuts. It's like, if a woman had that delivery, she'd be dismissed as being overly emotional and hysterical.
Truth.
But the men can get away with it.
Yep.
But, like, I mean, if you just look at it, like, demonstrably, the men are more emotional on Fox News, at least.
Yeah.
So.
You ever see men when their football team loses?
The riots in the streets sometimes.
Yeah.
Riots in the streets when the football team wins.
I mean, that's okay. We can riot over football, but we can't riot over human rights.
Okay.
Okay, where are we? Energizing him, biggest fan. Okay, if you have been withholding admiring words from your husband, it may feel strange to begin. Well, if you're withholding them, that's like
it's
that's a psychological
difference
abuse thing right there.
There's a difference between actively withholding positive words or affirming words or whatever, and just not even thinking about it, and just like passively not giving them. Like those are two very different scenarios.
Yeah, 100%. First and foremost, be authentic, be real.
So don't say all the things she said to say earlier if they're not actually true.
I guess. If you contrive admiring words, he will be able to tell. Please. Women fake orgasms all the time and men can't tell. Like, if they can't tell that, they're not going to be able to tell when we say, oh my God, you're so great at putting up that shelf. Oh, look at that. So manly.
I know I'm not great at putting up shelves.
I never
You want a
said
straight
you were.
shelf? I'm not going to put it up.
I never said you were.
Although whoever put up these shelves is also not great at putting up shelves. More behind the scenes stuff for my main channel. So one of the biggest struggles I have is figuring out whether the camera is level or whether it's just the shelves that are crooked, and like trying to center myself or whatever. Like it's because the shelves are just so weirdly designed, and like they're uneven and they're not level at all. And so it's difficult.
You know what I've noticed about Canadians? Could be North America in general. I don't know. But what I've noticed about Canadians is they like to do a lot of their own home repairs.
I have done a good number of them here.
Yeah, back home
they
we
were all
don't
done
do
wrong.
our own home repairs unless that's in your trade. We hire people to do those things because we want it done right.
Hey, I built that room in the basement okay.
We want it done right. Not okay. We want it done right.
It's mostly right.
Mostly.
Yeah, I mean, I never finished the door. But like that's doesn't say anything about the room itself.
I love you.
Of
And that's
all the
that matters.
problems in this house, that room is not one of them.
No, that's not really a problem. But we also don't use it enough for me to determine if it's a problem or not.
For those who don't know, that's the basement bathroom that is painted yellow and brown.
Oh, that room? Oh, yeah. No, that is a problem room.
Well,
I haven't even
because
got
of the paint job or because of...
everything in there.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the actual structure of the walls. The one that the electricians who installed our solar panels felt comfortable attaching a breaker box to. Because I did a solid job building it.
Good job, buddy. You did a great job.
Hey, are these contrived words of affirmation right now?
Start with one compliment or a word of appreciation. It may be as simple as thank you. People don't say thank you. It's not a thing that people say when they're in relationships.
Sometimes, no, yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
Those aren't good relationships, though,
No.
generally.
And soon the admiration will begin to flow. Who knows? It may begin to flow both ways.
Yeah, see, this is that thing again. Like, if you want your husband to be good to you, you have to do these things to him first. It can't start with the man. It has to start with the woman always.
But she doesn't say will flow. It may flow.
Yeah.
So my husband doesn't have to appreciate me? What? Bullcrap. Dr. Harley also notes, remember that a man really needs appreciation. He thrives on it. Many men who come to me because they have had affairs stress that the admiration from their lovers acted as a warm spring breeze in comparison to the Arctic cold of their wives' criticism. Why are their wives criticizing them?
Probably because they live together and the wives have to deal with all the shit that they don't
True story.
take care of.
So nothing to do with anything, and I'm not a good storyteller, so it's not going to come across really great, but I'm going to tell it anyways.
Okay.
I used to work in this jewelry store, and I remember one of the sales ladies was showing one of the customers, the woman, necklace, bracelet, or whatever, and it was fairly expensive.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh no, I can't, it's so expensive, blah, 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 blah. She's like, if you don't buy it, he's just going to turn around and buy it for his mistress. She's like, I'm going to take it. I was like, there you go. Good on you.
Having a mistress seems like a lot of work.
Yeah. not saying it isn't.
Seems like more work than it's worth.
Yeah, it takes away from my nap time. Damn it. Damn it. Oh, don't make your...
How much longer do we have in this chapter? Three pages?
Yeah.
We're already at an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh, we're going to keep going.
Okay, let's go.
Feel free to stay or grab a snack, a beverage, you know, or if you have to go, we'll miss you, but
Grabbed a beer.
thanks for stopping by. Okay. So don't make your husband go outside your marriage for approval. Don't make him. Make it. I don't make him do anything. He needs the perspective your appreciation gives him. That does not mean you have to fake it with him, or, well, what if there's nothing to appreciate? I mean, get
Then
divorced.
you should get a
but
divorce.
tell him you love him, something that drives you wild. But work with him on the needs you must both fulfill. Oh, I like that. Okay.
Yeah, that's...
Setting up a strategy that builds admiration. Okay, cool. Not terrible. Not all men are admired at work.
Okay.
So, if work is a place where your husband meets opposition at every turn or leaves feeling like a failure, he will search for some place to be admired. It could be on the softball field. Woohoo! Go team. I told you could play softball next year. On the racquetball court.
Too, though.
Damn it, you're gonna play softball and you're gonna make friends if I have to drive you there every time.
Friends sound like work.
No, they're not work. They are a little bit of work, but the
problem
benefits
is
from...
if you find neurotypical friends, they get annoyed when you don't message them in several days. I'd prefer to have like an ADHD friend who, if I don't message them for like 3 months, they are still fine.
Okay, so... I don't know what you're complaining about. Go make friends. You won't know if they're neurodivergent until you talk to them.
We're going to Colorado for a wedding for one of my friends.
Friends in real life, like that you can see and touch.
Are you saying we're not going to be able to see and touch them in Colorado?
Yeah. That one day. And then who knows when after that. Okay. Back to the story. You're going to the softball field to get admired and meet friends.
What you're saying is I need my Jonathan.
Was that his name?
That was the guy earlier in the threesome.
No, I don't think it was Jonathan. Damn it.
Actually, that's biblical because Jonathan was David's lover in the Bible.
Jeremy, Jill.
And Jonathan.
No, it wasn't Jonathan.
It was John.
John. It was
There you go.
John.
It was John.
It was John. Okay.
My point is David and Jonathan were a gay couple in the Bible.
Were they?
I mean, like, people will say they were just really good friends, but there's this whole passage about how, like, they put their faces together and talked about how much they loved each other and their souls were entwined as one, and they took off their robes together. And you're like, yeah, that was just them being really good friends. They were roommates.
Ooh, okay. Okay, you're going to play softball, then racquetball. As a deacon at the church or in an online chat group. You're like, yes, that's mine. How wonderful when that place in your heart, in your arms. How wonderful when that place is in your heart, in your arms, in your home. In this book, 20 surprisingly simple rules. In his book, 20 surprisingly simple rules and tools for a great marriage, Dr. Steve Stevens.
Steve Stevens.
Steve Stevens.
Is he from Stevensville?
Oh, I don't know. Lists 4 types of compliments. One type is a compliment of possession, such as, I love that sweater.
Oh, it's like, I own you, and it's great.
That's what I was thinking. I love you because you're mine. The second type is a compliment of appreciation, such as, of appearance. I don't know how to read. That sweater brings
I love your
out
glittery earrings. Oh wait, no, that's the possession one. The glittery earrings match. I guess your shirt because black matches everything.
I thought you were just gonna say my glittery
Oh,
earrings
okay.
match my glitter.
I mean, it probably does, but there's a whole internal anatomy there that I haven't actually seen in person.
Sorry. Okay, the sweater brings out the blue in your eyes. The third type is a compliment related to behavior. It might be something such as
I love it when you suck my dick.
that, or that was very sweet to let that car go in front of you today.
What? These people have the most boring conversations.
Oh. I'm so proud that you didn't have road rage today and that you let that car out. Oh. And the fourth type of compliment is one of character, such as someone asked me what the definition of integrity was, and my mind immediately went to you.
Okay. I don't have a joke for this one. I'm sorry.
Neither do I.
I mean, we could read 1 Samuel chapter 18, which says, it's the heading, which keep in mind the headings were not in the original text. They were
Okay, you
added by
said the
translators.
heading, and I heard beheading.
No, the heading. There's a lot of beheading in this book as well, though. So. But the headings are not in the original text. They were added by the translators to make things more easy for modern readers. The heading is David and Jonathan's friendship.
Ooh.
It says, as soon as he had finished speaking to Saul, the soul of Jonathan was knit to the soul of David, and Jonathan loved him as his own soul. And Saul took him that day and would not let him return to his father's house. Then Jonathan made a covenant with David because he loved him as his own soul. And Jonathan stripped himself of the robe that was on him and gave it to David, and his armor, and even his sword, and his bow, and his belt. And then David went out and conquered a bunch of people. But, like, that sounds romantic. That does not sound like they were buddies.
Mm-mm. He unsheathed himself.
Now, I guess the apologetic that makes them not gay is that, like, he's the armor bearer for David, and so, like, this was, like, a ceremonial part of that job or whatever, but, like, he's, my soul is knit with you, I love you as part of my soul, and now I'm going to take off my clothes. Like, that sounds, sounds very gay. Which, you know, good for them.
Can we ask apologetics to please start using that sort of language when they talk to each other?
Yeah, sure.
Just to confirm that it's...
Meanwhile, there are videos that I've responded to where, like, some guy mentioned an MMA hold, which is called the rear naked choke. And, like, he mentioned it, and he felt the need to go out of his way and be like, that's a hold in MMA, doesn't mean that you're actually... And it's like, okay,
Have
why?
they watched MMA? Because all it is just a bunch of men in their underwear rolling around and hugging the whole time. The whole time.
It's the same thing with American football. Like,
yeah.
I mean, they're wearing more clothes, but, like, they're wearing these tight tights, crashing into each other, rolling around in the mud.
True story.
Wrestling.
Men like to touch each other a lot.
Men like to watch other men touch each other a lot. And pretend that it's not homoerotic.
Trying to think. Yeah. Yeah, the big sports. It's lots touching in there.
Chad Stewart says, I'm pan, so gay is in there somewhere.
Okay. Dad. Oh. Look for ways to give compliments every day. I'm
Nice
glad you're
pair.
mine. Pay attention to your husband and take note of his appearance, behavior, and character qualities.
I didn't notice that Puddles was back.
I note that you are in your pajamas.
Is that a character quality?
Appearance. She said, take note of his appearance, behavior, and character qualities.
In this case, my appearance is indicative of my character quality of slobbishness.
You're not really a slob. I mean, you work from home. I feel like most people who work from home just stay in their pajamas all day.
Yeah, okay, but I'm in my pajamas because I haven't showered yet because I walk on my treadmill.
And then you shower when you're done.
Yeah.
That doesn't make you
And
a
then I
slob.
get dressed and go to bed.
Yeah.
That's actually, that is somewhat true. Like I shower later on in the day and then I put on my proper clothes for the day. And then I usually sleep and just like, I'll take off my pants or shorts or whatever I'm wearing and then just sleep in the shirt. And so I get dressed to go to bed and then I put my pajamas on for the day.
That is true. Then sprinkle a few compliments his way.
Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle.
I note that you're wearing your pajamas.
Specifically the pajamas that you want to throw in the garbage.
I love how you look when you wear your button-up shirt.
Which I'm not wearing.
For some, your husband may become confused or seem skeptical. Were you confused? With a sudden showering of praise, he may say, "What's up with the compliments all of a sudden?"
I mean, I can't take a compliment, but like, it doesn't confuse me. I just don't know how to respond.
That's why, like, I overwhelm you with them. What's that called? Dang it.
Love bombing?
No,
That's a cult thing.
well, that's just a not nice thing. But no, where you like have a fear of something, so then you immerse yourself in it to like get rid of the fear.
Oh, exposure therapy?
Yes, there we go. Thank you, sir.
Oh, that's what you're doing? Ugh.
Yeah, I'm doing exposure therapy.
Yeah, when she goes for her PhD in something psychology related, I'm going to be her research subject.
How do
My
you know you
thesis,
aren't
how-
already?
My thesis, how I fixed my boyfriend.
How do you know you're not already?
Because you're not in a PhD program. Do you have to write a thesis for your master's? Some programs do.
I'm not telling.
Okay. I'll find out eventually, I guess.
If that is his reaction, just say, "I'd forgotten what a wonderful man I'm married to, and I'm realizing it more and more every day."
I mean, but is he actually being amazing?
Probably not.
Because, like, they've said not to make up the shit.
Yeah.
So, like, if he's not being amazing, don't tell him he's being amazing, because then he's not going to realize that there's something that should change. Now, not saying that being nasty and naggy is the way to change someone, but, like, there are compatibility things. Like, if you're not compatible, if you don't think he's amazing after you've lived... This is actually why living together before getting married is a good idea. Before you intertwine absolutely everything, you find out if you're actually compatible in that sort of scenario.
Are we compatible?
I think so.
Mm.
I mean, we're still within the first year, so, you know, maybe the honeymoon phase will wear off, but...
Never.
Just like the dead silence on the live stream.
Building suspense. Come on. If you have been doing...
There's no stream next week. We broke up.
Lies! If you have been doing... If you've been doling out a steady dose of criticism, sarcasm, and verbal jabs, you have a lot of weeds to pull.
There are a lot of weeds to pull right now.
There are.
Lily hasn't weeded her lily garden recently.
I know, I need to put that on the chart.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, some deep-rooted weeds have a tenacious way of sprouting up time and time. Dear Lord, the
Yes,
weeds in our garden,
The bindweed? Oh, fuck.
like,
I know she's being metaphorical, but, like, literally speaking,
Yeah.
yes, this
Yeah.
is the worst.
yeah. I, like, pull them up, and then the next day, it's,
Yeah.
like, wrapped around the plant again. I'm like, I pulled up the root. How did it wrap around the plant again? In one night. I don't know. It's magic. I know I'm magical.
Bindweed
I
is
brought
the
my
worst.
magic.
Bindweed is the worst. No, bindweed has been a problem here for...
You know
entire
nothing.
time.
You may have to continue applying weed killer. Words of affirmation.
That's words of affirmation are weed killers.
Yeah, they kill the criticism and sarcasm and verbal jabs.
Sarcasm can be fun though. Like I get what she's saying in that like it can be taken to a damaging extreme, But like, we're sarcastic at each other all the time.
I know, but I was
That's great.
sarcastic at you the other night, and you were not appreciative of it.
What was that?
When you were grumpy pants.
Okay, but that was because I was a grumpy pants, not because you didn't say something funny. I don't remember not being appreciative of sarcasm or whatever.
When you were trying to work, and I came in crunching ice. That wasn't my sarcasm.
No, it was the crunching ice that I was being a grumpy pants about.
I know. I love you.
I love you too. But I also have misophonia, and she eats ice so fucking loud. So fucking loud.
How else eat ice? You put it in your mouth, and then you close your teeth on it. Like, what are you supposed to... I
The
don't
lips
understand.
close first.
My
They
lips
stay
too...
closed the entire time.
My lips too close. My lips.
And normally I'm just like, this is not something that's going to change. This is how she's been her entire life, so I'm not going to change the way she chews on ice. But in this scenario, it was like, okay, I am working, and she didn't have work to do in the office, and she was just standing beside me eating ice, and it was just like, if you're gonna do that while I'm working, like, you're not working, can you go somewhere else, please?
I was not
But
standing
normally I'm
beside
just like,
you.
it's fine, whatever. I will
I
plug
was
my ears.
here
And...
for a purpose,
Okay, whatever.
and I still love you,
I still love you too. Even though you crunch ice.
even though you were grumpy pants.
I really was.
He's not grumpy pants very often, so when he is grumpy pants, it's like, okay, he's the real deal today. Okay. We're handing out our weed killer.
But weed makes you relax.
For many years before the life-choking weeds are all gone. Oh, sorry. I might have to start that sentence over. You may have to continue to apply the weed killer for many years before the life-choking weeds are all gone.
And sometimes they might never go away because they're bindweed and they just destroy everything.
True story. Robert. The woman of my dreams is feminine and ladylike. She puts on makeup and is presentable when I get home.
She puts on makeup at home for you to get home and see her in her... Oh, God. Come on.
Even
What
if
kind of 50s patriarchal bullshit is that?
she puts on makeup and is presentable when I get home, even if we don't have any place to go. My wife is really good at this, Robert.
No, like,
mean,
if I'm out working for the day and you're a stay-at-home mom, and I get home and you're like, hair's a mess and you're not got makeup on, you're in a house coat and nothing else.
My moo-moo.
Yeah. I'm like, moo-moo, easy access, let's go. Like, fine, whatever. I'm in my pajamas, for fuck's sake. I cannot pass judgment here.
The woman of my dreams is excited to see me every night when I come home from work. Dave. What if she's had a tough day though, Dave? Like, you know, what if she's exhausted?
She just wants some alone time to relax.
Yeah.
And chill out because she's been cleaning up after you all day.
Yeah. Come on, Dave. My wife is always full of praise for me when I give her gifts or surprises.
The Turtle Move says master's thesis: YouTubers advertise reactions to other... YouTubers adverse reactions to other people eating ice. Also, the Turtle Moves. I get that reference now. It's a Terry Pratchett reference from Small Gods.
Oh.
The Turtle Moves. And it's heresy, but it's true. But it's heresy.
Okay, you continue to get that reference. I will continue to not get that reference. Don't look at me like that. Okay, but I still... My wife is always full of praise for me when I give her gifts or surprises.
Okay.
Like...
That sounds fine.
Yeah, but I feel like that's... I don't know the words that I have.
You get praise for me when I get you gifts.
Yeah, but I praise you all the time for everything.
Okay. Well, that's what she's saying.
Because I
You need to
worship
do.
you and adore you.
And you are mine.
Roman
I love that I own you.
rules.
This reading Christian marriage books, the stream where Rhino and Heidi give too much information all the damn time.
Roman rules. In chapter 3, we looked at 1 Corinthians 13 as a model for prayer. Sometimes we read those familiar verses and almost hear the angels in the background. It is for the words to be sung instead of
love
lived.
is kind bullshit.
Is that the one?
I don't know. It might be.
I think so. But they are not simply symbolic prose. They are stern words, difficult words, a call for revelation and self-examination. Am I loving my husband well? Am I adoring the man God has given to me? Am I admiring him as a child of God? Am I appreciating him
I'm
for
a child. I'll give you that.
you know, I'm appreciating him for who he is today instead of what he could be if he lived up to my expectations.
Get back to the man that God has given me. The idea that God has given you this person, like that kind of plays into the whole, even if our relationship is shit, this is the one that I have, so I have to stick with it mentality, which I don't think that's healthy.
But doesn't that also go against free will? Like, this is the man God has given me.
Someone's at the beginning of the stream and they want to know what the quantum leap sound says because it's too quiet to hear properly. So that means I have to turn it up and do it again. I'm sorry, I had to do it for Nastasia Reimerman. I'm sorry for butchering your name.
See, I feel like after these weeks of reading this book, I can call people whatever they want because they already know that I can't read.
Fair point. Fair point.
Okay. Am I giving my heart freely, or do I make him feel as though he constantly has to earn my love? Paul gives us some good advice on how to love one another in Romans 12, 9 through 18. Love must be sincere. Cling to what is good. Be devoted to one another. Honor one another above yourself. Never be lacking in zeal. Okay, the honor...
I feel like that's not talking about romantic love. I feel like that might be one of those times he's talking about like community love among the brethren.
Okay, what is your interpretation? What is honor one another above yourself?
It's hard to explain. Be like, consider other people's contributions as more important than your own. Be self-deprecating, basically. I think I got that one down.
See, my thing with this is, well, I guess if you're just looking at it in a like, oh, their contributions are better than mine, which who fucking cares? Everyone's contributing.
Well, it's like honor someone above yourself. That I feel like the word honor is just like it's too filled with cultural baggage as to different things that it could mean at this point. So I think it's just like basically like put others first, essentially.
Okay, that's what I thought it was going for.
In a romantic relationship, sure, there is a certain degree of that is a good idea to do. Not to the like you still got to take care of yourself. So it's not to the exclusion of taking care of yourself. But like, you know, when I hear your kids scream in the middle of the night because their blanket's not on them and they, heaven forbid, they pull it up themselves.
They're learning.
Yeah, I know. Well, I will go and like if I wake up and hear that and you're still asleep, I will go and put their blanket back on.
Well, that's because I have to take off my superhero gear.
Well, I mean, there's also the fact that like oftentimes while I am doing that, they'll be like, no, I want mummy. No, I want mummy. I'm like, okay, just lie down. You just need your blanket, right? Yeah, but I want mummy to do it. And sometimes I can get away with it. Like the other night, Griffin, the entire time I shouldn't have said his name. I'm sorry. But the entire time I was tucking him back in, like, no, mummy. Okay, just lie down. I'll put your blanket on you and I'll go see if mummy is awake. And then by the time I was back to our room, he was asleep. So
yeah. So my concern here is, because you hear that all the time, honor one another above yourselves. And that was my interpretation of like, take care of others before you take care of yourself.
Yeah.
But if I don't take care of myself, I don't have capacity to take care of anybody else. Yeah. Like that can only go on for so long.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I agree with the honor one another above yourself.
I think it's one of those things that it can't be an absolute. There have to be times when like we can say to each other like, yeah, I don't have capacity for this, so I'm just going to, you know, spend some time by myself to recover or whatever it happens to be. Can you please take care of this?
I agree.
There are going to be times when that happens, but like part of the putting the other person ahead of you is recognizing that, like, when you say that to me, okay, I'll step up a bit.
Yeah.
I will take care of the stuff that you need taken care of so you can take care of yourself. And vice versa. When I have moments like that, you will do the same. So it's not, but again,
I don't see
that's
that.
not really, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
see what you're getting at.
Yeah.
Like, it's not really putting you above me.
Yeah. It's supporting one another. Because when you need the time, you put yourself first, and then I take up the slack. Like, that's just how it works.
Yeah, but I don't know. This is one that I have difficulty with because I was raised in the church and got all these notions, and like the reason I have this book is because when I was married to Mrs. Rhino, this is like when we were Christian, this is one of the relationship books that we read. We have also read His Needs, Her Needs, the book that this one was just quoted. We have also read Love and Respect, another Christian relationship book, and they are all pretty much like this. And so, like, I've been steeped in this stuff, so it is hard for me to kind of get out of this. Like, even though I am past that, like, it's sure. But like, even though I am out of the religion, it is still hard to like get out of the mindset of like, oh, I'm the man, I'm supposed to be providing, so like I need to always be able to support you because you're the weaker one. So if you're having trouble, like I don't need time for myself to recover. I need to make sure you have the time to recover. Like that kind of toxic
granted, I do need a lot of time to recover.
Yeah, but you also got a lot on your plate.
Yeah, but I mean, I just need a lot of time to recover. Okay, never be lacking in zeal. Oh, I'm sorry. I must be pep all the time. And no.
I'll get you a cheerleader outfit.
I do like pleated skirts. Be joyful in hope. Be patient in affliction. Be faithful in prayer. Oh, well, we started that in our home. Share.
Like, I'd rather you cheated on me in prayer.
I prayed without you last night. No!
I prayed with another man.
No! Not with another man. Oh, what are we gonna do? Okay. Share with God's people who are in need. Why can't we just share with people who are in need?
Well, because all people are God's people, whether they know it or not.
But if we're all God's people, why aren't we all going to heaven?
Because God's a dick.
Bless those who persecute. Okay, Christians, bless those who persecute you, please.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is they have to, because they're not actually persecuted, they have to manufacture the persecution, because the Bible literally says that a sign of being a good Christian will be that you are persecuted by the world.
Right.
So if they're in a majority Christian country where they're allowed to have their beliefs and they're perfectly free to practice their religion however they want, not allowing them to impose their religion on other people must therefore be persecution. Therefore, since we're not allowed to do that, we are persecuted.
Yes, so they think they're persecuted, but their reactions are not reflecting the bless those.
They're very picky and choosy.
So bless those.
The Bible also says if somebody sues you for something, give them more than they're asking for. How's that going for like Mike Lindell, who I think he's still being sued by Dominion for like $1.2 billion or something like that?
Yeah. Practice hospitality. Christians, please practice hospitality.
So don't kick your gay kids out, because that's not very hospitable.
Yep. Welcome people into your community. Welcome them, all people. We just welcome hospitable.
You lose your place again?
No, I read something out of place. I don't know. Rejoice with those who rejoice. So when people are happy, rejoice with them. Don't try to
Yeah, the Bible verse though says there's another one after that.
Stop them.
Like rejoice with those who rejoice and mourn with those who are mourning, or something like that.
Yeah.
Is that the next one?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did I actually, it was mourn with those who are mourning? There we go. See, it's still in there.
Yeah.
Can't get rid of it.
But like when we're having gay pride and people are rejoicing, please rejoice with them. Yes, we rejoice. We rejoice with them. Okay? We rejoice. And mourn. We mourn with those who mourn. So, you know, when the
Have
orange
empathy. Have empathy.
when the orange t-shirts come up and the Black Lives Matter, we mourn with them. Yes.
I don't know if they know about the orange t-shirts in the
they don't
States.
know
That might be a Canadian thing.
Oh.
Orange t-shirts is the Every Child Matters. It's
Yes.
it basically symbolic of, or like, it's an acknowledgement of the heinous residential school program that was happening in North America, but like Canada in particular. And yeah, so like every year we have there's one orange shirt day per year.
End of September, I think.
It's like the end of September. Yeah, they do Orange Shirt Day to acknowledge the residential school thing. I think all of our kids have Every Child Matters shirts, but like you'll see people will like, they'll hang the orange shirts like on their house, like people hang pride flags, sort of thing. So yeah.
Oh, there's more.
How much more? Oh my God, we still got so much more to do.
Yeah, but I like this next one. Okay. Dear Christians, live in harmony with one another. Harmony.
Yeah, with other Christians.
Harmony. Sharon didn't give us a dictionary definition of harmony.
No, she said Christians live in harmony with one another.
She didn't. She just said live in harmony with one another.
You added Christians. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just telling the Christians.
Okay.
Dear Christians, please live in harmony. Harmony, peace and harmony. Do not be proud. Do not be conceited. Okay, dear Christians, do not repay anyone evil for evil, please. So if you think that people are being evil, we don't repay with evil. We pay with kindness
So
and blessings and rejoicing.
There's a rather
mourning.
prominent evangelical preacher who has come out recently saying that, like, when he's heard from all sorts of preachers that are like in the same denomination, like report to him or whatever, he's heard from them that like when they preach messages from like the Sermon on the Mount about loving your enemies and praying for those who persecute you and stuff like that, the people in the churches have started going to them being like, where'd you get that woke message from? Why are you being so woke? So I'm like, that's literally what Jesus said. Well, that doesn't apply anymore. So like it's literally, Christians are not listening to the few. Like, this, one of the first conversations we had on our first date was about, like, you said something about like Jesus being a good teacher or whatever, and I immediately went like, no, like, we know of a few of his things that he said that were not bad, but like so much of what he said was terrible. But like the few good things he said, they ignore.
Dear Black Jesus, please help these people. I feel like it was Black Jesus that said the good things. And white Jesus that said,
I don't know, because the good things are so close to the bad things, and like a lot of times like they'll be like right after each other, and like the first sentence sounds good, but then the next one is like, oh no, that makes the first sentence not good now. But then there's also the overt stuff, like it was in a parable, so people will be like, oh, this wasn't meant to be taken literally, but Jesus literally said at one point, yes, in a parable, bring me my enemies and slaughter them before me.
Yeah, that was definitely white Jesus. Yeah. Okay, be careful to do what is right in the eyes of everybody. Not just you.
Do what is right in the eyes of everybody.
Which is kind of hard, though, because nobody agrees on that.
Well, that's the thing, is that one of the Christian arguments for God is that we all have the same moral code, and it was given to us by God. But then anytime somebody disagrees, that's because they've been corrupted by Satan or the world or the fall of man or something. So this is one of those things where it's like, yeah, no, if God gave us our moral code, we all should agree on what morality is. But because we don't, it's kind of evidence against that God.
I want androgynous Jesus. Can we make him androgynous Black Jesus?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, I already showed. So if you follow me on Twitter, you might already be aware of this, but there's the Apocalypse of Adam was a book that was written sometime in between 50 and 150 CE. And I know that, like, if you read it in context, it's not actually saying that this is how Jesus came to be. It's like giving a list of like, oh, the angels in the first heaven or whatever, first kingdom said this about him, and the ones in the second kingdom said this about him. And when you get to the ninth kingdom, it's one of the 9 muses went away by herself and desired herself until she became androgynous, and then through her desire for herself conceived and bore Jesus, and then the angels nurtured him. So it's like, in an alternate timeline, one of the ecumenical councils that decided on Christian canon decided that the apocalypse of Adam would be Christian canon, and so they worship a Jesus who was masturbated into existence by an androgynous muse. Like,
That's what I
like
want.
that religion.
Yeah, I want that one. Let's pick that one. If it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. No, you already said live in harmony with everyone. Sorry, can't take it back.
But this is adding the caveat as far as it is possible.
Yeah, no takesy backsies.
So then the anti-LGBTQ people will be like, well, it's not possible for me to live in harmony with them because they're trying to groom our children.
No takesy backsies. Live in harmony. No takesy backsies. Now take a look at that list. It is easy to think that Paul is talking about our friends, our fellow Christians. But if these are the guidelines for loving our friends, how much more are they guidelines for loving our very own husbands?
Oh, I thought she was going to extend it to non-Christians.
Yeah, I thought so too.
But no, it's not that. She's not as good at that as that.
No. As Ann Landers once said, who's Ann Landers?
I think a Christian singer.
Okay.
I know the name.
Love is friendship that has caught fire. It is quiet understanding, mutual confidence, sharing, and forgiving. It is a loyalty through good and bad. It settles for less than perfection and makes allowances for human weakness.
Yeah, it was like an Ask Anne newspaper column.
She wrote a book.
Okay.
And
wrote a book.
No. This Sharon wrote a book and quoted one woman who wrote a newspaper column somewhere in the world.
Chicago.
Because everyone else is supposed to know who this Anne person is.
Well, I knew the name, so like, I feel like that's one of the well-known ones.
I feel like it should have said Ann Landers, a newspaper columnist in Chicago, once said.
Yeah, that probably would have been.
Okay, Pete. We're going to Pete. I think many Christian men feel like they can never measure up because expectations of Christian women are so high.
Are they though? Like, someone who's raised in purity culture is taught basically her whole life that like all the men are perfect. Not perfect, but like
they can do no wrong.
Yeah, not even that, but it's like men are put up on a pedestal in purity culture, and they pretend it's the other way around. Like we're worried about preserving the feminine or whatever. It's like, no, it's putting men up on a pedestal.
Oh, what
where
the
they're
movie say? Her what's still intact? Her chastity.
Her chastity is intact.
Yeah.
That stupid Baptist at her barbecue.
Yeah.
She hasn't had a single penis inside her.
And
then we later found out that this mother who was sure that her daughter had never had a single penis inside her seemed to have no problem with a strange boy that they had never met before carrying her off into a cabin by himself. Like,
I'm just confused as to why there was no black people in Baptist at our barbecue.
Because it's a Mormon movie.
I don't care. It's about Baptist and barbecue.
It's only very recently that
is there no black people?
Because it's a Mormon movie. It's only very recently that they've started having black people in their actual like.
Yeah, but it was also about
stuff.
Baptists and barbecues.
They had an indigenous person.
They did. They had a Hispanic person.
He was the drunk who liked to keep a flask full of vodka.
Just in case. Okay, my wife doesn't compare me to other men. She compares me to James Dobson. Who's that?
I don't know. Fucking know. Again,
there's an exclamation point there. He's very touchy about this.
James Clayton Dobson Jr. is an American evangelical Christian author, psychologist, and founder of Focus on the Family. That guy. Fuck him. Fuck him up the ass. Fuck him forever. He deserves to burn in hell. If you ever compare me to that guy, we're done.
Well, from here he looks like Putin.
Like a chunky Putin, yeah.
Yeah. Old chunky Putin.
Putin got stung by a bunch of bees.
Yeah. Okay, so your wife is dumb. Cool.
Yeah, if you think that's a favorable comparison, then you've got problems.
Yeah. The woman of my dreams would adore me. She would look up to me and make me feel strong and virile. I know this sounds old-fashioned in this day and age, but my ideal wife would not be self-sufficient.
So I am voluntarily
She would
not
need
virile,
me. Philip.
depending on your definition of virile.
Pete and Philip.
Pete and Philip. Are we? Oh, we're on to the P's now.
Only for a short stint.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not as egregious as the J's.
No. He doesn't want a self-sufficient wife.
Okay, we got to hurry up with this chapter because I'm starting to have to pee.
No! I wish my wife understood how much I long for attention and interest from her. Dave, be interesting.
You've said that so many times on this stream. Not this one specifically, but like this whole series.
Well, I mean, it's a pretty simple, like, be interesting. The 5 love languages.
Words of affirmation. It's one of them.
These are not researched, by the way.
Yeah, no, the research that has been done into it has basically come up with it like you don't actually have a love language. And I think we kind of, in fairly early conversation, we discussed it, and it was like the way that you seem to feel about it is that your love language changes, and whatever one you are not getting is the one that becomes your love language. So like you appreciate that one more in that moment.
Kind of. Like, I definitely have 2 that are like kind of primary for me. But yes, the other ones kind of fluctuate depending on what I'm receiving and what I'm not receiving.
Yeah, so like so the 5 love languages is not a terrible.
No, what it
model for a
is
relationship.
it's a conversation starter.
Yeah.
It's a great point to start off in any relationship that you can say, hey, these are the things that I really like and appreciate. And your partner can reiterate back what they feel, so you have a starting point.
Yeah.
Because some people don't like to be touched at all. So they might be like, so sorry, like, I don't like touchies. Like, like, that's a big conversation to have. Like,
Yeah.
if I wasn't touchy-feely, like, what would our relationship be like?
Very different.
Very different, but would you even enjoy it as much? Because you are touchy-feely. And I also am touchy-feely, so it works out. But if I didn't like touchy...
Yeah, so this is where so I know in the 5 love languages he does explain that, like, no, this is not like, if physical touch is your love language, that doesn't mean that like everything else can be shit.
Yeah.
And you'll be okay as long as you're getting enough touch.
Yeah.
So like I know that it's not that simple or cut and dry or whatever. But like, to your point, like, if everything else was perfect, but you don't like to be touched or do any touching, like, yeah, I am a touchy-feely guy. I would prefer for there to be touch, but like, if everything else was perfect, I feel like that could make up for it.
Right.
So
But
like
it's not, but like, nothing's
not
ever
breaker.
perfect.
Yeah, no.
And you would probably
I'm just
be
saying, like, that's not a deal breaker.
No, but you would still feel a little disappointed some days because you were like, oh, I really wish I could cuddle her, or
Yeah,
because you are super touchy-feely. So my point is,
she keeps telling me, like, she'll there are nights where she like does her schoolwork or whatever in the office, and I'm like playing video games in the living room, and then she comes out and I turn off the video game. She's like, oh no, you don't have to, you can continue playing, or because, you know, she's a good partner like that. She lets me have my time to do me things. But I'm like, no, but it's hard to play a video game while cuddling, and you're out of the office now, so you're gonna cuddle me now, right? That's because that's just what happens. So video game goes away.
You're cute. Okay, but yes.
Less Than Lucid says my love language is memes.
That too. So on TikTok, the neurodivergents have come out with their own love language, and that is one of them, just sending memes to their partner, which I do all the time.
Well, we used to do it more, but now we just hold our phones out and we're like, hey.
Yeah. We live together, so okay, so yes.
Text me anymore.
The book itself is not backed by research, but the concept is a good conversation starter.
Yeah.
That is what we're landing on.
Okay.
Okay. So what says love to one person may not say love to another. Dr. Gary Chapman, author of the 5 love languages, suggests that we each have a certain language that speaks love. Words of affirmation, compliments. Okay, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, physical touch. Ask your husband, what says love to him? Cool. You may be surprised. You may think that keeping the house clean or cooking yummy meals says love when what he really wants is quality time or words of affirmation. If he can't tell you what his love language is, ask him what he longs for or wishes he had more of.
Like, this whole chapter up until now has been her saying that every man desires this in his heart, and it's been all words of affirmation.
Yeah.
But now she's finishing it off with like, no, actually that's not it.
Yeah.
It's like maybe personalize your relationship and do what works for you guys instead of taking generic bad advice.
Yeah. Because I almost feel like, I mean, you would prefer physical touch over words of affirmation. So if I only ever gave you words of affirmation, like Sharon told me to earlier in this book, and tell you what an amazing person you are, but I never touched you, you'd be like, oh.
Yeah, probably.
And then you feel really awkward because you're like, she says all these things, but then she won't touch me. And you're like, oh.
And that's why you have the conversation.
Yeah, that's why you have the conversation. The end. Well, not the end. Sorry, guys. We're not even halfway through yet. So
Oh, wait, that was the end of the chapter, though?
that was the end of the chapter.
Okay.
But we're not halfway through.
See, I thought you weren't quite on the last page yet.
Oh wait. What?
What? Is there more?
Oh no, I just
We've
put my
been going for
bookmark.
2 hours now.
Yeah, no, I put my bookmark in the wrong spot. I was
time to
like,
go.
what?
Okay. Anyway, that was the chapter on why words of affirmation are great. That ended with not everybody wants words of affirmation, even though the whole chapter was everybody wants words of affirmation.
Yeah.
'Cause
They
as
long
usual,
for it.
Sharon
They
can't keep
desire
herself
it.
consistent, and
You don't feel like a man without it.
Some nice rollovers for the end, and yeah. So before we go,
Good morning, PR.
does that count as a meme for love language purposes? It's kind of a meme. See you next Tuesday.